Welcome into the Bobby Carpenter Show. Excited to be with you here again on this lovely Monday. Ohio State Slugs, they're in spring break right now. A week from today, they will be starting spring practice. We had some news come down over the weekend about a former Buckeye who was offered, and apparently, I don't know if it's officially confirmed yet, but as Eddie George looks to be taking the Bowling Green job. We're going to get joined by our guy, Lathan Ransom. But I want to start out as well, talk about his thoughts on the combine, what everything went. Maybe Schleg's some of the best questions he was asked, some of the stories.
That sounds amazing.
Some of the best things that happened with him there. You and I have been through it. We've shared some of ours. You know, as much as things change a lot of times, they still remain the same. So got that in there for us. Apologize for wearing this blue sweater today, Schlegs. It's one of my favorite sweaters, but it's blue, so I try to wear it a lot.
But it's navy.
It is. It's navy-ish.
It's a dark navy. I'm looking at it like through my Doomajink right here. And that's a really – I'm not going to lie. I actually think I look very nice in blue. I think you look very nice in blue like that, Bob. But it's – I think it's about wearing it around the facility more than it is anything about – I wear blue jeans,
Yeah. I get it.
Blue jean, baby. Right?
LA lady.
There's a song about it, and she's a seamstress for the band.
Elton John was thinking about you when he was singing that song?
Oh, man. I don't know. Probably not his type.
I don't know. I mean, I think you might be just his type.
Just his type. All he wears is jeans and boots and squats it in just fermented man juice.
It's like some people – they need a yin to their yang, and as an extravagant as a dresser that he is, you are more of the other, maybe the yin to that simplistic style, where your one outfit is multifaceted, where you can work in it, lift in it, hang out in it. And that outfit is the jeans, the Rocky boots, and, some sort of flannel /pearl snap /
tri-blend t-shirt, baby.
Chunky tri-blend t-shirt or a chunky Henley or something like that. Like all those things, they all provide the same level of utility for you. You can do a lot of different stuff with them. So maybe you are his blue jean baby. Maybe that LA lady, a seamstress for the band. So like all of those things wrapped up in one. I wanted to start with this though. I ran across this I think late last week, sometime this weekend, with Ryan Day, and he did an appearance with Colin Cowherd. And we talked about this kind of after they won the national championship.
Mm-hmm.
There's a strong faith movement on this team, and it was amazing. I sent it to Lathan later. I didn't want to send it to him and some of the guys before, but I do a daily devotional. I believe it's by Sarah Young. It was recommended by Tress. Great, and it has a compilation of verses that she kind of pens together. And I was reading it on January 20th. And it was out of Jeremiah 29:11, like know the plans I have for you. As it goes into that, and it's kind of woven through this little daily message. I was like, man, that's powerful stuff coming on the day of the national championship game. And you don't want to read into that. And like, obviously the good Lord doesn't care, obviously, who wins or not, but I believe there is a web and a greater reason, a greater purpose. And we've talked about how Ryan's father had passed away on that day. And Ryan's big into mental health because of the passing of his father and the manner in which it occurred. And he sat down with Colin Cowherd, and Colin asked him, who – Colin's kind of polarizing. I got a chance to do some work with him while I was at ESPN, and I always really liked him. Quirky dude, but asked very unique questions. Kind of like you, Schlegs. Quirky dude, but asked unique questions. He asked him about who the first guy he thought about after winning the national championship.
Back to the moment you knew you were going to be national champion. Who was the first person you thought of?
Well, for me, it was my father. And I didn't really make this public before, but since you asked me, I'm going to answer the question. I lost my father on January 20th when I was 9 years old. And I saw when the schedule came out that the national championship game was on the same day that I lost my father. And so, I just knew that he was with me that day. And that was the first guy that I thought of.
We had talked about that, but then to hear him talk about it publicly, Schlegs, and like that's the first thing you think about is your father you lost. I think he was 10, 11, something like that. Fairly young, but old enough to understand. but maybe not fully old enough to like feel it and understand everything. Unreal for him to kind of talk about that publicly, and for me to finally see that. Maybe other people had seen it before, but I don't know if you had seen that before I had shared it with you. Pretty powerful, remarkable stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the one that I saw was when he was greeting his family, right? And they're like, "You did it, right?" And then, you know, his very first thing that he said was, "We did it, right?" And he understands all of that. And then the culmination of that journey uh, in that season. I mean, I've seen it from January through the summer, and then boom, and then we watched it play out. Um, and starting with those players, but like they were all in it together. They all had their unique story. They did it, right? We did it, and then individually, you're going to have those things that you look back upon. And for him, on that day, to think about his dad, I know that means a lot, right, to him. And that's, guess what? That all has to mean a lot too. I think we sometimes forget that, man. It's not everybody has the same thing, man. That's why we're beautifully and wonderfully made. So, pretty cool story.
It's a pretty remarkable one, and just he's been Schleig's very open about things and different stuff, and so to hear him like share that then publicly, and that's the first thing, because everyone always wants to know when you get to win something, you're at the top of the mountain, what's the first thing that runs through your mind? And I'm hoping to get a chance to talk to Ryan here.
Bugattis?
Well, maybe it is. Maybe it's Rick Ross. I woke up in that new Bugatti Schlegs. But, does it change you? Like, do you feel any different? Because, you heard A.J. Brown after he won the Super Bowl. He's like, I don't feel any different at all. Like, the winning just really makes you kind of want to work more and go back to that process. And, so for that with Ryan, there was, this huge hurdle you're trying to get over. Finally win a national championship, and you've been close. You had knocked on the door so many times. Like, does it feel any different? Like, has it substantively changed you? Like, I would argue the experience has, but probably not the moment of winning it. And going through that whole process, the trials, the tribulations, all of those things, like that's what ultimately begins to change you. And like when you win it, it's a culmination of that. But the next day, like when you wake up, yeah, you're a champion. But is there anything fundamentally different about who you are as a person? I don't believe so. I mean, I've gotten the chance to win one, and I try to look back on that, and I was like, I don't think so. All it did was like, okay, you got to eat one cookie. Like, what are you going to do to start baking that second batch? Like, how do you make sure that's as good or better than what it was? And that's kind of the focus. I think honestly, when you win, in that immediate moment, yeah, you think about the people that got you there, how you got there. And I'm sure Ryan would probably love to have a conversation with his dad after that game. And unfortunately, that can't happen. But after that, like there's nothing profoundly different about you. And so it's almost a little bit like sometimes like an empty feeling, especially if you don't have the people around you that have worked with you. And that's when he said, you did it. No, we did it. And then the players and team and coaches and everybody that you get to share it with, because the title only lives in your mind at that point. Like, yeah, it's on a piece of paper and it's written down, but it's the experience of going through it, and it's chasing it, and the pursuit and the ups that were phenomenal and the downs that feel so bad, and wondering how we're going to climb out of this thing. Like, and it's the conversations about those times that allow that to live on.
Yeah. I would say this. I actually saw this last night. Like I was in bed, I was up late, been doing a lot of stuff with the difference in the armory and et cetera. And little Boosie, he makes $200,000. He puts $100,000. He's like, I'm always hustling because I always feel I'm poor. Now, 100 grand's a lot of money, but it's like he's just always scrapping. I think, here's the deal: you win a national championship. It is a blood transfusion. Urban said that, meaning this: you went through what is required to be great. So now, if you are truly an elite person, you will never want to go back and compromise the things that is required to be great. Ryan's now chasing 1% of 1%, right? Chasing the margins, chasing the edges, as my buddy Brian Peters says. So he goes and he dives into like Nick Saban and how he hired his guys as he made that run, how he started, creating friction and autonomy, but also while keeping continuity within the staff. why Ryan's doing it. So did it change him? Yeah, it gave him. I mean, it doesn't necessarily change you as like, man, I love my faith, or I love the Lord, I love my wife and children, and I love these guys, and I want to make them better. Okay, that doesn't change. But the confidence and the experiences and the things that I went through to get to that, to win that championship, all it does is it builds up my own credibility in myself so I can go out and do the things that are required to run it back. And I think sometimes, guys, that's probably the greatest gift of winning something. And I'm saying that regardless of what it is that you do. I like to speak things out over and over again because it validates it in my mind that will work. And then, boom, I get convicted about it. And I kid you not, that thing will work. Period. Dot. Does not fail. So, like, that's how I do it. And it builds up that confidence. And as you go through, I can handle that trial and tribulation. We can handle that success. I know exactly what has to happen to get us to this point. I know what it looks like from the player personnel and all this and that. That is changing. That is changing. You can't go back from that. And we don't care about paper. Bob, when's the last time you pulled out your national championship ring?
Oh, man.
Exactly. I have a gun safe in Florida that has my national championship and all my gold pants and all that stuff. Like, the only one I'd actually wear would be our 2005 gold pant.
Yeah.
But like, I would never. Who am I showing? Nate Ebner's won 3 Super Bowls. It's not like he's just like, hey, you know what? You come over to the house. You want to see my Super Bowl rings?
Yeah, I'm with you. I get it.
Your identity is not in the Super Bowl ring in itself. Your identity is in the process that allowed you to go take one.
Yeah, I would agree. The last time I wore my gold pants were the 05s. My mom's got the other 2 pairs. I probably need to get those back from her at some point, at least one of them. I wore them to the Michigan game this year. And the last time I've worn any of the rings, and it's been that I've worn, it's probably been, at least 5 or 6 years prior to this, maybe 8 or heck, it may have been a decade. But I wore our 05 Big Ten championship ring to that Michigan. I'm like, I'm going to try to infuse some like positive energy into this experience.
You're
to be
doing
able
your
to get
part,
this.
Bob. I totally feel you.
Yeah, I don't know about that, but I was I put this. I looked at it. I'm like, you know what? If I'm not going to wear it today, when am I going to wear it? So like, let's put that on. Let's put on the gold pants. You'll put on the armor of the Lord. And let's walk out here in this stadium. See if we can get it done. Even though I'm not doing anything but talking into a microphone. Yeah. But it was just seeing that, like you said, the process is what changes you. It's who you become along the way.
Yep.
And the people that you share with that blood transfusion. And I know after I'd won anything significantly in my life, the first person I talked to, especially in sports, was my father. And so for that with Ryan, like to hear him openly talk about that. And I had a good friend of mine growing up who still good friends today, who lost his father. And I think we were in 4th grade at the time. And so like you go through that and like understanding what that would be like and all those different moments of accomplishment, and you thinking like the person you want to share with and talk about. Yeah, it was tough. It was tough. So it was like hearing that man just humanizing Ryan even more and his ability to be open and share things. And that's why his players inherently, that's why I tell people, that's why they love him, because that's who he is. He's authentic all the time. We got Lathan Ransom on deck. We have to talk a little bit to him, hear about his combine experience, what it was like. Is it the same as it was 20 years ago? I'm sure there are parts of it. Maybe there's some other stuff as well. So we got him coming up next. And before we get to that, parents and athletes, want to tell you, protect what matters most with Export mouth guards, trusted by professional athletes, designed by NHL team dentists. Export mouth guards are scientifically tested to absorb those high impact hits, protecting both your teeth and your brain. Export mouth guards feature 3 layers of advanced protection, including a patented use of carbon fiber, custom fit to your own unique smile with that 3D printing. Means more protection, better performance, max comfort, clear communication, so you can focus on your game, not on your gear. Don't take chances with your safety. Go to exportguards.com/Bobby today and save 50% on your order. Export, protect what matters most. Lathan Ransom coming up next.
Hey, Ryan, how the heck do I get our Big Play app?
Experience Cleveland's fastest growing sports network, Big Play. Packed with Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, talking Cleveland sports at any time, anywhere. Scan the QR code to download the Big Play app and register to win a trip to Las Vegas.
I love you, Big Play, and I love you, Cleveland.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like. I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer. All right, welcome back to the Bobby Carpenter Show, and now we get to be joined by our favorite Buckeye safety, Lathan. Where are we at? We still in it down in Orlando. We make our way back to Columbus. What's the process now in the post-combine situation?
Yeah, so I'm back in Orlando, continue my training, continue my work, and yeah, just gotta reflect. I got to reflect on the combine a little bit, enjoy it, and now we're here and back to work, man.
All right, so guess what? You're in the media. Let's reflect on it, okay? So let's start with the beginning, right? You go in, you get tested, and there's teams that ask for all your tests. How long did your testing take? Tell us about your testing.
Man, so there was some long days there, so I'm gonna go by each day. So we first get there. My flight got there a little later, around 3:00. We had a meeting, everyone together, the groups I was with, the DBs and the receivers and basically those skill guys. They split you up into groups. We got split up into groups, and then these were the guys who's gonna be with the whole time. It was all the safeties, and you get to meet everyone. It's unique because you get to talk to people that you watch film on, guys you've competed against, and that was a pretty cool experience. And then straight to the meeting. So had a bunch of meetings with teams. You got formal meetings, informal meetings. That was a lot of fun. A lot of stuff that when you see on TV, all the coaches in the room and that. So that was pretty cool. Cool experience. I did that from 6:00 to 11 is when that finished. Straight meetings, back to back to back to back. And then you get some rest, and then the next day you wake up really early, and that's when we had the first days. I think we had our medical. So we have our medical, and like you said, man, that's MRIs, X-rays, basically everything you can think of. You test on your heart, all types of tests. And I was in that hospital from 11 to 7:30, and then after that you go straight back to your meetings again, the tests and stuff. I'm like, man, it's a long day, it's draining. But then you get back to talking to the coach and stuff, and then you get reminded why you're here and you're excited. Then after that, you got to get a workout in eventually. So I got it like a workout in at 10:30, 11 o'clock at night. And then the next day is when you go to each team's doctors, and they have questions about your X-rays or MRIs and basically about your medical history. You go to a bunch of different rooms, meet with them. That went good, and then that's the first day you kind of get a little time off. That finished around like 6 or 7. That was the first day I got a little bit of time to myself, and got to call my family. And then the next day, man, you get ready and it's time to roll at the combine. So got up early, did a couple more things. You got pictures, you got weigh-ins, you got measurements, and then get ready for the combine. And this is what you've been waiting for. So at the back of your head, through all the tests and stuff, you're waiting is to get on that field and work out in front of everyone like you've been working to do. So get on the field. I had a great workout. I had a lot of fun. And then that next day you wake up real early. You got tests in the morning, and then you got to watch people could do a couple more tests, got a little media, and then you're done. So that was basically my week at the combine.
So you talked about being there all day at the hospital. That's not typical for a lot of guys, depending on your level of health. Now, Lathan, we know you've talked about this. You've got like a book that your medical files look like. You got some from every year. We got legs, we got feet. I mean, you got like a shoulder and stuff.
Why do you walk like that? They ask me that.
Why do you walk like that? What? How many MRIs and like CT scans in total did you end up taking?
Yeah, so luckily, both my injuries on my leg were my left leg and left foot. So I just took, one long MRI. It was about like an hour in there. And then what was frustrating is I told them too, I had broke my hand, and they didn't do X-rays on it the first day. So I actually had to come back and do the X-rays the next day, which that really wasn't my fault. That's just because, I didn't get it the first day, but it wasn't that bad. The longest thing is that everyone had to get MRIs. So I'm waiting. I had to wait 3 hours on my phone on the floor in the hospital for everyone else to finish so I could finally get mine. That was it was the waiting to do everything. Then you got to wait for everyone to get x-rays. You got to wait for everyone to do the test. So the tests in themselves weren't that long. It was just the fact that, 100 other dudes had to get them.
See,
Sounds like we need some better efficiency in the NFL, man. It looks like a whiteboard and some operations and some bottlenecks, and we could have been way more efficient with that. Hey, let me ask you this. So, this will be I want to go into your preparation of the deal, but now the medical's done, and you're meeting with coaches. Bob, I want you to chime in on this, but like, give me the best question that you were asked.
I think a good question that I was asked was that I thought was unique was, I think we talked about it too. If you were stranded on an island, or if you could bring someone with you, to your team at the next level, like who would you bring in? We got a lot of guys on the team that I was trying to decide from, but my guy Cody Simon, Big Blocko, was definitely the answer of who I'd bring with me. There was a lot of unique questions, where it talks about schemes, the different coach I've had at Ohio State, weaknesses, things I got to grow on, things I feel the best that I'm best at. And then, there was a bunch of questions, man. What was cool was you was talking about preparation. I kind of, talking to the other players and stuff leading up to the combine, had kind of an idea that we weren't probably going to do a lot of the testing there, but I knew I was going to do drills just because I'm a competitor and do meetings. So I really took, initiative, and that's what I worked at the most. I knew that I wanted to be the best in the meetings, and I wanted to be the best at the drills. And I feel that, I might be biased, but I feel that's what I was the best at out of the people I was going against. So now I got to take advantage of the time I had to prepare for the rest of the testing. So, I put my best foot forward in everything I could have done.
So I believe we have Pro Day on April 12th, I want to say. So we'll get a chance to check you out there. Lathan, you mentioned meeting with all these teams.
Well, it's March
26th.
March 26th.
April 12th, the spring celebration. It's a celebration, baby.
Yeah, I got my days mixed up here in the spring. So March 26th, it's a Wednesday. Did any of the coaches push back on you, Lathan, about not working out of the combine? They know you're a competitive guy, trying to challenge you. And when obviously you talked about how many games you played, I'm sure that was part of your answer with everything. What was that interaction like? And was there any friction there?
No, they were actually pretty cool and understanding. Basically understanding how long of a season we play. Biggest thing I said, being a competitor, going against, we had 3 or 4 weeks to work out, and then these guys have 8 and 9 weeks. And I just feel that they understood that, with so much time, you need time for your body to recover and compete. That's why I got a lot of respect for guys like, Denzel. Denzel still got out there, ran the 40. Quinshawn, Trey, they went out there and ran the 40. So big respect to those guys. But even the guys that just competed, like I think you saw Ohio State, there was some, guys that didn't compete in anything. And we still wanted to get out there and do drills and just, show what Ohio State looks like against, the rest of the country.
Well, that's a great perspective, Lathan, because I think it's one thing to be able, you got to be able to go do what you feel comfortable doing, but also we're making business decisions here. And so, like, if I'm not totally dialed in on my 3-cone, like, why? If I'm not totally dialed in my pro shuttle, why, right? If I think I can get more power and do a better broad jump, why not, right? So, but it's also good that you're out there and you're about and you're talking and you're like, yeah, I can do this. Like, it's all about you feeling comfortable too, because you'll be ready. Let's ask you this. So, did you notice a difference with some of the guys that had longer time to prepare, even at the place that you're training at, just compared with you guys? Or it's like, man, no, we're right there. I just need a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think that's what's so cool about it is, like you said, when I look at the 3-cone times and the 5-10-5, it gets you excited because I'm like, okay, like I see where their times are at. I think I can, go do better. Or I think my times are just right there, especially, the broad jump and all that thing and all that stuff. So that's what gets you excited, to keep working, to get here and it gives you a goal to what you want to get to. So I think that's why I'm excited to, continue to work extremely hard and to go put my best foot forward. Because at the end of the day, when Pro Day ends, I don't want to have no regrets. I want to know that, I did everything I could to give myself the best chance to do what I could do. And then just be excited to continue this journey into the draft.
So are you out broad jumping Quinshawn of 11 feet?
No. I'm a realist. No, I am not out jumping Quinshawn.
That blew my mind.
Yeah, he's a freak, man. You got some unbelievable dudes. Trey ran really well. I mean, a lot of stuff that we anticipated. fast guys run fast. I mean, Quinshon's super explosive. Obviously, he's a great leaper, and he ran really well too. I might add. You talked about the deserted island. What teammate would you bring with you? What was the best actual football question? Did people when you're sitting in some of these meetings, was there film pulled up asking why you do this? Was there something that you kind of remembered that maybe stumped you? Why didn't you guys play better against Oregon the first time? What changed the second? All those different potential scheme or even just specific position questions.
Yeah, so I was prepared for all of those. Luckily, I've been meeting every day. Who I actually been meeting with? Shout out Brent. Even though I know Brent. Brent, he be helping me and putting time across from me, meeting with me, and he was a dude that behind the scenes guy that's just as smart as everyone else, but he's behind the scenes doing stuff. So been meeting with Brent, Coach G, and I was prepared. We talked about the scheme, how our scheme had changed throughout the season. How beginning of the season we ran a lot of quarters, then lose to Oregon, start running a lot of pressures, blitzing. And then, in that postseason, started getting our three high safety stuff, playing a lot of split safety coverages. Kind of talked about that. Talked about the different schemes I had played in with different coaches. Talked about how, put me on the board, showed me some of my best plays I made. Then to go and show me some of the worst plays I made, to talk through the plays. Also, I think to get a reaction out of me. And then, but I think one that was pretty cool was the Eagles run a lot similar defense to what we run. And their safety coach, they're actually real close friends with Coach G. So they know each other real well, and they kind of asked us about a coverage, and they asked if is there ever a call that I make to the front side safety to alert something? And I said, yeah, we make an alert shove call. I don't want to give what that makes, but basically it's an alert shove call. And he was like, yeah, that's a really good answer. He started laughing. He's like, did Coach G tell you to answer it that way? And I started laughing because he actually didn't. But I remember, in the preseason, Coach G did get that from the Eagles. So it was just funny. Their room was laughing, and that was a lot of fun. Talking with Houston was a lot of fun because they have Cade over there and CJ and X and a bunch of other guys. And it was a funny question. They had asked me, if we were to ask Cade one thing about you, what would you say? And I wish I'd tell Cade to his face, but I said I used to run through Cade's face in perimeter drill. So that was an answer I gave. And I love Cade and compete with him. And that was a guy that we always got each other better. But our heads were definitely always ringing after practice.
Let's run that back because Cade's coming up to the Armory tomorrow, and he and I are getting bumpy. So next time you're in town, we just recreate that. Get some export mouth guards in there and some helmets. Let's just see what happens. So hell, Bob and I will jump in. I mean, what everybody wants to test themselves every once in a while. Hey, real fast. So now you're preparing. You got pro day coming up. What does it look like for you? What are you focusing on right now in your own training, your own preparation? What's going on?
Yeah, so now it's a lot more of the testing. So now it's just getting all my technique right and all the little things right to give me the biggest edge on the 40 of the 5-10-5, the L cone, bench press. I'm really mad. I wish I would have benched at the combine. But it is what it is. I was really in my own head. I'm a competitive dude, but after seeing it, and I think I could have benched and would have been fine. But basically all the testing I'm excited for, and then excited to see the guys, excited to bet against the guys when we get there. Who's gonna run faster? Who's gonna do this better? And yeah, man, and meeting with a bunch of coaches as well right now. I didn't realize after pro day I've already met with I think this week 4 teams on Zooms and got a bunch set up for next week. And 30 visits, I'm starting to plan out and stuff. So I didn't realize, once you finish the combine, the meetings aren't over. The meetings are just beginning.
All right, we're going to take a quick break because we're going to talk a little bit more about that. I want to dive in with Houston a little bit more with you as well. We got more with Lathan coming up next.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some!
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.
Back in here with our guy Lathan Ransom. You start talking about the visits, those meetings and the individual workouts, and we'll get to that. Your Houston workout or meeting, was that with just the DB's coach, or was the coordinator in there? Like, just because every team does stuff a little different, and you're meeting with different settings sometimes. Because the D coordinator Matt Burke, he was actually my linebacker coach in Detroit. He coached AJ in Cincinnati, so he's got like a long history with some of the different Buckeyes if he was in there.
Yeah, the whole their whole staff was in there, and that's funny is because they kind of talked about things I like to do in my free time, and I basically talked to them about how you guys give me the opportunity once a week to get on the show and practice my media training and to lead me to hopefully be a broadcaster one day. And there was a lot of coaches that that knew both you guys, especially Bobby, and I always asked like what was he like back then, and they said a lot. so that was funny to connect with those guys and talk about that.
Yeah, it's really good, man. It's funny, like being in Ohio State. I mean, because so many guys play, Lathan, and like you're seeing so many guys from your class. But like I stayed in the NFL for a while, and so I always try to look at you weren't just representing yourself and your family, like you're representing your whole university and guys that come after you. And you see certain teams like to draft a lot of Buckeyes because they have good experiences with them, because not only good players but great people as well. I will give you a little bit of warning. We're talking about these visits where they come in and they can actually work you out when they come to Columbus, because I'm sure they'll probably want to try to work out you, and Jordan's here, or Denzel, or whatever it looks like. But those are some of the most brutal, depending on who you get. So, like, you remember our workout with Spags when he came in? Lathan, we did it was basically position drills for 40 minutes. He goes, we'll be out of here in like 15 minutes.
No doubt.
We're doing back pedal weaves across the field. Like, he keeps like, get lower, get lower, get lower. I'm like, bro, my legs are about to explode. Like, some guys are going to be chill, but there are other guys that'll just keep working you just to see, like, hey, is he still in shape? Is he going to complain? When's he going to ask for water? Because there's nobody else out there to save you.
Yeah, I've heard some stories about them pro day 2 and then the one-on-one drills being extremely tired and exhausting, especially because it's you or a couple dudes. And yeah, that's why I'm doing my best, staying on the assault bike and doing everything I can to stay in shape, because that's one thing I'm not trying to be, is just that guy that's tired out there.
No, you got to keep working on your craft, because, hey, guess what? Buckle up, Buttercup. You get drafted, and now you're going to rookie minicamp.
Yep.
And I'm dead serious with you. Better keep freaking running, because you don't know where you're going to get. And you got a limited quantity of dudes, and they might run your ass into the ground, right? And then now you're going into OTAs, and guess what? That's when soft tissue. I just tell people all the time, like, if you're in your position, you got to make sure you keep building up that tissue density and that volume that we did, like when you were at Ohio State, how we stair-stepped it, because you don't know where you're going to go and you don't know what they're going to do. But remember, like, you got to be healthy, so you got to prepare the tissue. But I'm going to say this. Do you have any like official visits on site scheduled?
You talking about like where you go to the teams?
Yeah.
Yeah. So the first one that actually was, I think, is Cleveland. So I was like,
ooh, okay, wrap the road. Fly in. You fly into Cleveland.
Exactly. So I made a call up to Rocket and making sure that he's in town when I go up there. So I know I'll be busy, but hopefully I get to see them. And that was the first ones that called. As this, the meetings go with the teams, with the safety coaches and stuff, I know that there will be more, but that's the first one, and I'm excited to go up there. I seen they actually just I hope I saw the news right, but I'm pretty sure they just made a deal with Myles Garrett to bring.
Tell me, what did you see, Lathan? Break the news, break the story on the show.
Breaking news that he had an extension. It looked like a 4-year extension. I think $40 million a year, if I saw it right. So, man, he's got paid.
So here's another interesting connection. The defensive coordinator up in Cleveland, Jim Schwartz, was our head coach in Detroit. Matt Burke was our linebacker coach there. And so, like, you'll start seeing these different connections and like scheme similarities, which guys kind of tweak them. But as you know, you kind of always have like your base deal of what you're going through. there, and they're judging you on your visit. I mean, I know people that they say they take you out to dinner and they screw up your order intentionally just to see how you treat the server after they bring you the stuff raw, like all those different things that they'll be working with. So that'll be very, very interesting as well. Before we get you out of here, Lathan, just wanted to see when we're getting back. Like, are we coming back like a week before pro day? I know Stu has been missing you. Like, he's been working on Ebner. He's been working on Seth McLaughlin with his Achilles. But I mean, you're like his all-time favorite patient just by your rep count. So I mean, Stu's been asking about you.
Yeah, so I hopefully get up there a week before our pro day, maybe a little longer than a week. You know, I'm excited to get around the guys, try to get some workouts on that field. And yeah, man, I can't wait. I talked to Stu actually when I was in Indy, and he actually had, I think, a banquet, or there was something he was speaking at in Indy at the same time. Our schedules didn't align, so I couldn't meet up with him. But it's funny, Stu still, anytime I have an issue or a worry, he's the first guy I call. So I always talk that hopefully one day if I get that a second contract or a contract on Myles Garrett, that I could pay Stu out at Ohio State, and he can come with me. So that's my goal. That's my motivation every day.
Absolutely, it is.
Love it.
That's good, man. Well, we appreciate some time, Lathan. We're excited. We'll talk to you again next week. I can't wait for you to get back and to watch I'm gonna sit there and watch some of them individual workouts now, because those are fun, dude, to watch you guys grind out there and to ultimately watch pro day as well. It'll be something great. So good luck and stay healthy, and we'll see you here again soon.
Thank you. I appreciate you guys.
One of the best, dude. Our favorite, did a great job at the combine. And listen, Schlegs, I always put little bugs out there and reach out to my guys to see who they've met with, what's going on, and how guys are performing. You know, Lathan's our dude. So he did a great job, as everybody had said. All right, coming up next, we've got our headlines, and there is one big headline from one Buckeye who is coming back to the Buckeye State as a coach.
Ooh.
How about that? Next on the Bobby Carpenter Show.
Hey, Ryan, how the heck do I get our Big Play app?
Experience Cleveland's fastest growing sports network, Big Play. Packed with Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, talking Cleveland sports at any time, anywhere. Scan the QR code to download the Big Play app and register to win a trip to Las Vegas.
I love you, Big Play, and I love you, Cleveland.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like... I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer. Welcome back to the Bobby Carpenter Show. And as I teased before, Schlegs, the break, our guy, Eddie George, who's been coaching at Tennessee State, doing a great job, been down there for a couple years now. Moved David Copperfield. He got offered the job at Bowling Green. They were reportedly going back and forth. As of Sunday, I believe, I don't know if it's fully official, but that he was accepting of that. So I don't know. I'm sure they may have a press conference or something later on Monday or Tuesday. I don't know when. But it's like Eddie George, who I've got a chance to get to know over the years from when he'd come back. And people always like, "Do you play with Eddie?" I'm like, dude, Eddie is 10 years older than me, okay? Maybe a little bit more. And that's not a knock on him because Eddie looks so good. Maybe it's more a knock on you and me, Schlegs. But just super pumped for him to have another Buckeye as a head coach in college football. And it wouldn't surprise me if sometimes, Schlegs, he's even moving onward and upward from BG.
Yeah, I mean, first off, Tennessee State has done a phenomenal job there. Yeah. And with all the resources, because like side nugget, funny story. So back I'm coaching at Ohio State, and Eddie was in town, and then we had the old man group, Bob, as you remember. And Eddie was like working out with us. It was so fun because one, he's an enormous human. Two, he is extremely athletic, even as he was older. And then finally he was like, "Listen, man, I'm tired. Like, you got me jumping. Like, we're doing stuff." Like, he's like, I'm good. he left. He had to go on a vacation. Or he had to go somewhere. And then when he came back, he's like, hey, you know what? Hey, it was fun training with you guys. It was fun, but I'm good now. So, and I talked to him at Tennessee State with the striking machines and things of that nature. I know their strength coach there very, very well. But Eddie he's great at the relationship. He's great with this population of athlete because he's not so far removed, but he also knows what it means to like care about them. And I just love how he built up Tennessee State. I think he would do a phenomenal job at Bowling Green. And again, that's where, Urban started, right? Yeah. So like you never know where the trajectory is. And guess what? If you want to take that step and move on and upward, you got to take those calculated risk and seize those opportunities.
Absolutely. And, Tennessee State, like you said, Schlegels, he doesn't have a wealth of resources there. At Bowling Green, you're going to have a little bit more, but not as what you would have at like a Power 4 school or an Ohio State. And so how you allocate those, how you spend your time and treasure and making sure that you're putting things in the right place, getting the right kids, getting them to believe in you, which Eddie, as you know, Schlegels, ultra authentic, and we got to see that. And then he was super authentic with you, and you had us jumping over these hurdles, doing all this different running back stuff, as if Eddie was about to go with Lathan to Indy to run in the combine.
I know.
I'm like 40. He was like our age now when he was doing.
I know, which is awesome. I wish somebody was doing that for me.
I know, and that's why you said we got to get the hurdles going again. I'm like, oh gosh, it's gonna hurt my.
That's why. Well, that's why I told Cade. Cade called me up. I was like, Cade, just you know what? Come up, come to the Armory. I was like, I need a partner. I need to train. I need to jump. I need to run, but I can't run with him because like I need to coach him. So it's like we're gonna do that, but the other stuff like I'm gonna do because I got to feel it, man. Yeah. Gas station ready, Bob. Like you got to jump and move and sprint. And
So Pat's telling me that Eddie got a 5-year deal at BG. So apparently that's happening. That's locked in. Going to be ready.
Breaking news.
Yeah. Kudos. As you keep jumping around, your camera keeps shaking. So let's chill out. Some other news in Ohio. There is something that we have in Columbus, Ohio that we should be really thankful for, Schlegels. And I want to get your take on this and see where you're feeling about it. We'll get that coming up here next in our Tailgate Talk.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some!
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.
All right, Schlegels. I know that you love burgers.
Oh man.
And I love a good burger too. And I love a good fast food burger. I had one at McDonald's, a double cheeseburger last summer, and with RJ, because my dad, we'd be pulling through. He'd be like, dude, just grab like 3 of them. He's like, slam these down. Here's probably 1,500 calories. Just eat this right now. I was like, man, they were so good. And I got one, and I'm gonna be honest, I was really disappointed with how good it was. It was not good. It was smaller. And maybe it was just the location, maybe it was just the time, but it wasn't what I'd hoped it would be. And I don't really get fast food all that often anymore. But we'll throw this up here, Schlegels. I know you love Wendy's. Wendy's Junior Hamburger, healthiest fast food burger in North America. That son of a gun looks delicious right there. And if you're telling me that it's the healthiest burger, I'd dive in on that. The only thing I would add to it, Schlegels, is some bacon, because I think anytime you're going to add a second meat into a nice little entree, it's going to be a win for everybody.
Yeah, I can see that. One, that surprises me. So back in the day in Texas, these were called Texas double cheeseburgers. That's what they were. And literally they were $1. They were 99 cents.
Yeah.
I would be like, hey, I need 6 Texas double cheeseburgers. And I would eat 6 of them. And I'd be like, hey, I need 4 ketchups per. So I need 24 packets of ketchup. That's
You need
right.
a bottle.
That
You need a
was
bottle of ketchup.
my ketchup to sandwich, kind of like Arby's sauce, right? Like I had a minimum 3 Arby's sauce packet to Arby's sandwich ratio. That was the deal. But like that's what we did, man. Like those are so good. That makes me kind of want one. I mean, I'm at the farm right now and I don't have any food here. I found 1 protein bar. I got some protein shakes. I need to go get some food. I'm probably not going to get that. I'm probably going to go grab some eggs and like maybe some bread. Probably not bread. Like I don't even know. I just might just eat meat and other proteins.
Next time you get burgers, your ketchup, just get a side of burger with it. Like I'd like 24 packets of ketchup and 6 burgers on the side.
You know what's good about that sandwich right there is like I'm looking at it and I'm thinking about it. And all those years, Bob, I was so anti lettuce, tomato, onion. Kid you not, guys. I was a pickles, ketchup, and mustard only guy. Every time I had a sandwich, if I could do a Trump thing, it'd be amazing. Like right now, but I can't be like, oh, you know what? Hey, let me get a Texas double cheeseburger, pickles and ketchup only, like I'm some fancy guy because I'm allergic to onions. And then I went to the Air Force Academy and I had no food, and I had to grab an onion. I just literally ate it raw because I was freaking starving. I think it was during survival training. And then I love onions now. But all those years I missed all those sandwiches with tomatoes and onions. I'm not a big lettuce guy. It's all up in there.
It's for the contrast and the flavor.
But it hits my face before I get to like the real deal.
But it gives you the cold crunch with the nice warm gooey burger and the sauces and the onion. It's all part of the elements that you're getting there. All right, we got to take a break. Coming back, we got our final segment with parting thoughts with Mr. Anthony Schlegel.
Hey, Ryan, how the heck do I get our Big Play app?
Experience Cleveland's fastest growing sports network, Big Play. Packed with Cleveland's favorite sports personalities, talking Cleveland sports at any time, anywhere. Scan the QR code to download the Big Play app and register to win a trip to Las Vegas.
I love you, Big Play, and I love you, Cleveland.
I'm Garage Beer, and this is Bobby Carpenter.
Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer.
Beef with an F? Okay, my bad. It's crisp and cool, and it doesn't taste like... I'm Bobby Carpenter. I drink in garages, because my wife says I don't belong inside. If you like a cold breeze on your bag, drink Garage Beer. It's American, and so can you. Garage Beer. Beer flavored beer. All right, Schlegs, you got 30 seconds.
Dalian just got $11 million a year job. Bump up $2 million. He's in the top 5. And as this goes up, and it goes back to like, what are you going to prioritize in your organization? I'm really interested to see how this plays out because Ross Bjork, as you talked on the Morning Juice, Bob, you have coaches staff. You need continuity. You have NIL. You're going to have revenue share. You have facilities. You have you have all of these different things along with all these other sports. Like, how is this going to look? Who's going to be the trendsetter to say, hey, our football program is separate from our other programs? I'm just like, when I saw this and where we are in the landscape of college football as to, boom, you just got a $2 million a year bump.
Yeah.
That's bumpy.
It is bumpy.
And
We'll get in a lot more of that
I just want to put that out there. So again, I just got my thoughts spurred. I'm excited to see how this all plays out moving forward.
Exactly. And because I want to talk a little bit more about that. We'll get into that more tomorrow. We're out of time today. Stay locked in. See you tomorrow at 12:30 on the Bobby Carpenter Show.
Welcome to Big Play, the fastest growing sports media company in America.
I'm gonna keep it straight with you. The reason you should watch our show is because I look good, baby.
Come get some!
Join our millions of fans for live sports talk shows hosted by the top former athletes and sports personalities in the industry.
Ohio, it's my home state.
Obviously, I'm a diehard Cleveland sports fan.
Watch what you want, where you want, when you want. Welcome to Big Play.